Those children need Jesus or Oshun
Honey.
to guide them when they're having impure thoughts.
David!
God. Honey, it's for you.
Oh, hello, Fatima.
Hello, Alana. I see your dress shrunk in the dryer again.
This is the third man in a month. How many men you date, Auntie Alana?
We are our own little family. We are our own unit.
Watch Mixed Up, an original Film TT and TTT production. Nightly at 8 p.m. Monday 25th to Friday 29th September. Only on TTT.
That is right. Mixed Up is coming to TTT and it premieres the 25th of September next week, Monday. I'm excited and I know that you are as well. Some other people who are excited because they get to see the full story play out, all the edits, all the things that they wasn't sure about, all the acting that come into life. We have in studio with us Penelope Spencer and Patty and Ali, characters in Mixed Up. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you all doing this morning?
It's a wonderful morning, wonderful.
Now, I know we've been here before. We've had this conversation before
Yes.
when we were getting ready for the red carpet premiere. And what was the response that people gave you guys after the premiering in IMAX?
It was overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
And that was a wonderful feeling that the work was received,
Yeah.
and that there was a response, and that the response was genuine.
Positive, you
and
know.
positive. You know, you can't control what anybody thinks or feels, and you shouldn't have to. And diversity of opinion is how we expand and grow. But for the most part, would you
was good.
say?
It was positive, yes.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I thought about, and a lot of people spoke to me on, is that Westwood Park was another series that we had, and you know, people Mixed Up as the first of its kind and thing, but we've had series in this country. We've had Turn of the Tide, we've had all
No
the
Boundaries, Sugarcane Arrows.
You know, so this is
Yes.
who is on the shoulders of all these past productions, and it's going to be, you know, just as wonderful. And you know, and what I like about this production too is education. You get educated as while you're laughing. You know, you learn things, you understand relationships and the best way to communicate.
Yes.
Well, sometimes.
Because I know going to say have some communication inside the show from the first episode that I saw.
Yeah.
That get a little rough in the communication aspect of
Well,
things.
you have to keep it, you know, juicy. You know.
And real. And I
Yeah.
think that's another thing that I think is really significant about this series. And I'm so glad Penny brought up the fact that we are on a trajectory. That we are standing on the shoulders of the work that has gone into television production in this tiny island of huge talent and determination against so many odds, and the navigation of the relationships, I think, is a reflection of a reality, you know, in this country.
What's interesting to me is both of you all have been working actors for quite some time, right? And I'm curious as to how you've seen the industry change from when you would have started to now.
I mean, I've seen so many changes, like children doing SB now and coming to ask you about acting. Well, in my days, that didn't exist, you know. When I passed my secondary school and I heard that there was art in the school, I thought there was drama and dance. No, it was visual arts. That's all that was available in those days, you know, a long time ago, you know, so the changes are really phenomenal. But then again, some things have changed because it's still hard to get money for production, sponsorship, respect. You know, some parents still don't want their children to end up in this business, you know. So while we have a lot of changes, but and we've had some setbacks, you know. We have one theater, about three theater companies thriving now. You know, long time we had about 8 companies. You know, there was a play by this production and that production. So there are changes, and then there are setbacks.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Yes, I think also what you see now is an exploration of topics and issues and so on that maybe we're ready for now, that we may not have necessarily been ready to head on deal with back then. And then again there were, you know, it's, as Penny said, it's like you're seeing all this production happening and it's wonderful, but there are certain obstacles and challenges that haven't changed. But also there was such a prolific amount of work back then
Yeah.
too, you know.
Yes, exactly.
That you don't necessarily see
Exactly.
now. It's
Yeah.
a kind of strange
yeah, I mean,
phenomenon.
you had fellas like Derek Walcott and William Chukong and, you know, all these fellas doing work and putting out work and, you know. But what was happening and I like is that Film TT is bringing us together, taking
Yes.
actors of the stage and bringing them into film. And I know that's a change that I like. Meeting young people and new people, you know, younger people.
I
You
mean,
know,
speaking of which, let me say welcome to the set to Saran Clark. She joins us on set. Good morning, Saran.
Good morning, everyone. Good
Saran
morning.
plays the character of Alana Wilson,
Yes.
who is the aunt, which would be one of your daughters.
Yes.
All right. But she is the aunt to the children in Mixed Up, and a very, very horrible influence on the young man.
Horrible. Oh my God!
Defend
I would
yourself,
not
Saran.
say horrible at all. I
Of
think
course
that
you
she,
wouldn't say
no, she's full of life and she's very understanding. She puts them in place, but she also has a nice little spunk and adds flavor to their lives. Yes, that's what I.
And she have them researching man for she. You understand what I'm
Well,
talking
it's
about?
better you keep it in the family.
Progressive though.
Yes,
You
I mean,
research the man
yeah,
before
to
you go
find
into a
out,
relationship.
yes.
Are you
Of course.
hearing this?
Isn't that
Listen
progressive?
to me.
Listen,
You
if
researched.
exactly, if my nephew is very good, it means that he will know exactly what to do. I mean, if the man is blocking his social media, of course I need an expert.
You're
We
witnessing.
need
The
an
nation
expert.
is witnessing this outrageous attitude.
And Fatima would not stand for this.
No, of course not.
How does Fatima approach dating? Or the suggested approach?
I'm sorry, I don't understand what that word means.
No dating allowed.
I am sorry, I do not understand what that word means.
I think she needs to start dating.
Yeah.
I do think
I think
so.
they need
Yeah.
some kind of moral guidance.
Moral guidance.
Perhaps avoidance of a bottle or two.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. You date. You see the man, you go and research the man, you find out who is his mother, his father, his sister, his cousin, his uncle. You find out who is his friend. You find out where he working.
Where he working.
You find out how
You
much
look at
money
it,
he
you-
making.
you read the comments to find out how- what people think about him. You
right?
understand?
This is what you do when
And tell me the benefits of doing that,
well,
Sylvia.
how do you mean benefits of doing
What's the
that?
benefits?
Then
Like,
he-
all that is for
only-
what?
If I line up and all these things are positive, then he can see me or my daughter. You know, then he can approach her.
So you just help your daughter do the
Mother
research
knows
too?
best. Mother knows best.
I don't help her, but she's trained.
Clearly, I need to get my grandchildren away from this influence.
Fatima, I'm very curious as to how you felt the first time you met when your daughter brought home this gentleman.
I have blocked it from my memory.
You've blocked it from your
Yeah.
head.
So why you just still go and check
Right.
them?
Because she is my child. She is my daughter.
Really? That's the
will
only
never
reason why.
change.
That's the only reason why.
I have
I
nothing
think
to
she's,
say.
she's very nosy.
I think
She
she's very
meddles in-
lonely.
Yeah,
I think we
very
need to-
lonely, very nosy, and meddles
Do you
in
have
people's
something
business.
else you need to ask
know?
at this point?
I think I want to ask everybody in Trinidad and Tobago to tune in to Mixed Up on the 25th of September because you're going to see how this bacchanal unfolds. I don't even know when we switched to being in character, but all of a sudden, everybody ended up in character. Ladies, thank you all so much for joining us this morning. Congratulations on Mixed Up. I mean, the first episode left me wanting more, and I know
That's
everybody is
great.
going to want to see how the entire drama plays out.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you
Thank you
having
for
us.
the
Thank you, Film
opportunity.
TT.
Yes.
Thank you,
and
Film
thank you.
TT. Thank
Yes.
you, Film TT.
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you, ladies. All right. We want